Imagine this, a typical Tuesday. You wake up, grab your phone. The internet is slow. The bank app won't open. Through the window, a huge line at the supermarket. It's 7 a.m. You don't know it yet, but this is day zero. And here's the truth that most people only discover too late. Collapse is not an event. It's a process, a sequence of phases that history has repeated dozens of times. I studied all the major collapses: Argentina, Venezuela, Yugoslavia, Soviet Union, and I discovered something disturbing. They all follow the same pattern. The difference between those who survive and those who are swallowed up isn't luck. It's knowing which phase you're in. The first phase is invisible. I call it collective denial. The signs are everywhere, but nobody wants to see them. There's a milk shortage one day, a flour shortage the next. It'll be back to normal next week. They say next week never comes. Warning signs: selective product shortages, elites sending their families abroad. Contradictory narratives in the media. What do? You act silently. You buy a little more each time you go to the market. You keep the cash on hand. You keep the tank full, and you don't tell anyone. Because when the next phase arrives, there won't be time to prepare. If the first phase is silence, the second is thunder. It's the moment when the penny drops for everyone at the same time. And when millions of people wake up together to the danger, the result is always the same. Absolute chaos. Argentina, December 2001. For months, the country showed signs of collapse: inflation, unemployment, tension, but most believed the government would fix it. Then, one Sunday night, the minister appeared on TV and announced the freezing of all bank accounts. Overnight, nobody could withdraw their own money. What happened in the following 24 hours went down in history. Kilometer-long lines at the banks, people begging, crying, fainting. When it became clear that there wasn't enough money for anyone, the looting began. First at the banks, then at the markets, then everywhere. In 48 hours, Argentina had 5 different presidents. 5. Those who hadn't prepared in the previous phase were completely overwhelmed. No time to react, no second chance. Signs that panic had begun. A rush to banks and ATMs' empty shelves within hours. An explosion of violence, fights at gas stations, robberies in broad daylight, and government declarations of emergency. What do you do when it explodes? The response goes against all instinct. You stay still. You don't leave the house. You don't go to take a look at what's happening. You don't try to buy that last item you forgot. A survivor from Sarajevo told me something I'll never forget. The first to die were the curious, those who went out to see, those who thought they could outsmart the chaos. Your mission in the panic is simple: invisibility. Curtains closed, lights off, no noise. Your house is just another empty house in a sea of despair. But panic doesn't last forever. People stop running when there's nowhere left to run, and then something equally dangerous begins: the reorganization of power. When the state weakens, the vacuum is filled. And the person who fills it is almost never the one you would want. Gangs, militias, factions, even neighborhood associations, suddenly they become the new authorities. Each region starts to have its own rules, its own law. During police strikes in Rio, who was in charge of the communities? The drug traffickers. And residents reported something disturbing. During these periods, there was even more order, fewer robberies, less disorder, because the local power structure did not tolerate chaos within its own territory. In Venezuela, entire neighborhoods are controlled by colectivos, armed groups that decide everything from food distribution to who can live there. Signs that reorganization has begun: informal checkpoints controlling access to streets and neighborhoods, a parallel barter economy replacing money, justice being administered by the community without a court, families and neighbors forming alliances. What do you do at this stage? First, map out who is in power in your region. It doesn't matter if you agree. What matters is understanding the rules of the new game. Second, have something to offer. Useless people are ignored. Gramagi, or become a burden. Doctors, mechanics, bread makers, water purifiers, these people have bargaining power. Third, form your group. This is non-negotiable. An organized group, even a small one, always wins over an isolated individual. And here's the truth. The group you form now, under normal circumstances, is the group you'll have in the event of a collapse. If you don't have trustworthy neighbors today, you won't build that network when you need it. After the initial chaos and local reorganization, there comes a moment that takes many people by surprise. The state returns. And when it returns, it doesn't ask for permission. I call this phase the return of the iron fist, and it comes disguised as salvation. After weeks or months of chaos, people are exhausted, afraid, desperate for anything resembling order. When a powerful group emerges promising security, most don't question it, they applaud. This is how authoritarian regimes were born after virtually every major collapse. In post-World War I Germany, the chaos was so intense that when a party promised to restore order, millions supported it. You know how that ended. In 1990s Russia, the decade was so brutal that when Putin emerged promising stability, the population embraced him. Freedoms, rights, people traded everything for a little predictability. The trap is always the same: temporary emergency measures, curfew until things normalize, rationing for the common good, confiscation of items for redistribution. Temporary becomes permanent. Emergency becomes routine. In New Orleans, after Katrina, police confiscated guns from law-abiding citizens door to door. It was temporary. It was an emergency measure. Many people never got their guns back. In Venezuela, the collapse controlled food distribution. To receive food, you need to register, and the registration system knows where you live, how many people are in your family, and whether you support the government. Food has become a matter of political control. Signs that this phase has arrived: military presence on the streets, official checkpoints, emergency decrees, suspended rights, mandatory censuses and registrations. Mapping is the first step in control, and the narrative of us against them. Hoarders, saboteurs, traitors to the common good. What do? Minimal visibility. You don't want to be noticed. You don't want to seem prosperous. You don't want to demonstrate special abilities. Just another citizen struggling like everyone else. External conformity, internal autonomy. Follow the visible rules, but maintain hidden reserves active. Networks of trust. A Soviet survivor explained to me, you learn to have two lives, the one the state sees and the real one. Never mix the two. Impeccable documentation. With an iron fist, paperwork is power. Clean record. No excuses to be classified as a dangerous element. And along with control comes total economic collapse. That's when the currency dies. Germany, 1923. Banknotes lit bonfires. It was cheaper than firewood. Zimbabwe, 100 trillion couldn't buy a loaf of bread. Venezuela, a month's salary doesn't even buy a dozen eggs. When money dies, the economy doesn't stop. It transforms. Three things become real currency: skills, relationships, and tangible assets. Those who know how to repair, heal, build, or produce food have value. Those who know the right people gain access. Those who possess items for exchange, cigarettes, alcohol, batteries, medicine, ammunition, have purchasing power. What do? Keep a stock of barter items, small, divisible things that are universally desired. Lighters, salt, coffee, basic medicines. That's the new money. Never reveal how much you have. In a trade, you take it out of one pocket. The rest doesn't exist. Develop an essential skill now, not when you need it. Basic medicine, mechanics, farming, water purification. Useful people survive. Useless people depend on the goodwill of others. This phase separates those who truly prepared from those who merely accumulated things. Things end. Skills and networks of trust do not. After all the previous stages, a strange moment arrives. The crisis becomes routine. There's no more panic. There's no more surprise. Just the daily struggle for the basics: water, food, security, health. This is the new normal, and it could last for years. Survivors of Sarajevo describe it in disturbing terms. At the beginning of the siege, every gunshot was frightening. Every explosion was terrifying. Months later, they were having coffee on their balconies while snipers fired a few blocks away. Humans adapt to anything. But the problem with this phase isn't the immediate danger. It's the strain, the exhaustion of never relaxing, the erosion of health from poor diet and constant stress, the mental deterioration of always living on the edge. Many people who survive the initial chaos break down at this stage, not from a bullet, from burnout. I've seen reports from doctors in conflict zones describing this. People who endured the worst, who kept their families alive during the most critical moments, simply giving up after months of endless fighting. The mind has its limits. The body also takes its toll. Without proper nutrition, without real rest, without medical attention, small problems become big ones. An infection that could be treated with antibiotics becomes life-threatening. An inflamed tooth becomes an unsolvable ordeal. Chronic stress destroys the immune system. And there is another silent danger: complacency. You get used to the chaos. You start to think you've figured out how it works. You let your guard down. You make mistakes you wouldn't have made in the early days, and those mistakes at this stage can be fatal. What do you do to survive the new normal? First, routine is survival. It seems contradictory to create structure in chaos, but that's exactly what maintains sanity. A set time to wake up, defined tasks, small daily rituals. Your brain needs predictability, even if it's artificial. Second, take care of your mind as much as your body. Have something that connects you with humanity. A book you keep, a deck of cards. Real conversations about things beyond survival. Music, if possible. Whoever loses hope loses the will to fight. And without will, the body continues, but the person has already died inside. Third, never let your guard down completely. Maintain safety routines even when they seem unnecessary. The moment you relax is the moment danger finds you. This doesn't mean living in paranoia. It means maintaining discipline when the temptation is to abandon it. Fourth, preserve your network at all costs. Alone, this phase will destroy you. With a trusted group, it's bearable. Divide tasks, cover shifts, support each other emotionally. No one can endure constant surveillance alone. No one maintains their sanity in isolation. Fifth, celebrate small victories. Did you get enough food for another week? Celebrate. Did no one get sick this month? Acknowledge it. Is it someone's birthday? Mark it somehow. These moments seem silly, but they are psychological anchors that keep humanity alive. The new normal phase tests not your strength, but your resilience. It's not an explosion. It's erosion. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And like every marathon, it has an end. The question is, will you be standing when that end comes? Every collapse eventually ends. It may take months, it may take years, but it ends. You notice it gradually. It's not an announcement, it's gradual. The market reopens, the electricity is back on for longer hours. People start talking about the future, not just the next day. But here's what nobody tells you: the world that emerges is not the world that was before. It never is. Those who survived the Soviet collapse saw a completely different country born. Those who lived through Argentina in 2001 never trusted banks the same way again. Those who experienced Sarajevo carry invisible scars forever. The rules change. The values change. The hierarchies change. Those who were rich may be broke. Those who were invisible may have become leaders. And the Reconstruction brutally favors those who prepared themselves. While most are devastated, financially, emotionally, physically, those who weathered the collapse with their resources intact have an enormous advantage. Properties sold for pennies. Businesses started without competition, opportunities springing up everywhere. Does it sound cold to say that? Maybe. But it's historical reality. Every great fortune was built or multiplied during periods of crisis. Those who had resources when no one else did bought the future for almost nothing. This is not theory, it's a documented pattern. But Reconstruction isn't just about money. It's about who you became in the process. The choices you made during the collapse define your reputation in the new world. Did you help your community or only think of yourself? Did you build bridges or burn them all? Did you maintain your humanity or become what you swore to fight against? These answers will follow you. In the aftermath of a collapse, reputation is worth more than gold. People remember those who helped them, and they remember even more those who betrayed them. The world may have changed, but people's memories remain. If this video made you think differently, you're in the right place. Every week, I bring you content like this: analyses of real collapses, strategies that actually worked, information you won't find in traditional media because they don't want you to know. While most people are distracted by nonsense, those who follow this channel are preparing themselves in silence. So do this, click the subscribe button below. Turn on notifications so you'll receive updates, because when I release the next video, you'll want to be the first to see it. Knowledge is an advantage. An advantage in a collapse is the difference between surviving and being swallowed up. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next video.